This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Amanda Stevens, coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Wednesday, July 9th. Taiwan begins the largest military exercise mobilization in history as China sends 24 aircraft across the median line. Lithuanian parliamentary delegation visits Taiwan in support of bilateral ties. And a new Frankenstein strain of coronavirus is not yet a serious threat in Taiwan. But first, today's top story. Taiwan's largest annual military exercise, Hongguang 41, officially began on Wednesday and will run for 10 days, its longest duration ever. This year's drills not only simulate increasingly complex threats from China, but also mark a major milestone for Taiwan's reserve forces. For the first time, the Army's 206th Brigade is being mobilized at the full brigade level, involving more than 2,000 reservists across 5 infantry battalions and 1 artillery battalion. Along with the volunteer officers, the total force reaches 3,000. Troops from the 206th Brigade have conducted preliminary drills at a junior high school in Taoyuan. Military officials say the reservists will undergo refresher courses on combat specialties, marksmanship, and platoon to battalion level tactical drills. If their readiness is confirmed, they will be tasked with guarding critical urban and strategic locations, relieving active duty forces on the front lines. This year's Hongguang scenario assumes that the Chinese military launches intensified gray zone provocations alongside electronic and cognitive warfare attacks. As Taiwan carries on its live-fire military drills, tensions in the Taiwan Strait remain high. The Defense Ministry says that from 6 a.m. Monday to 6 a.m. Tuesday, a total of 31 Chinese military aircraft were detected near Taiwan. Among them, 24 crossed the median line and entered Taiwan's northern, central, and southwestern airspace. In addition, 7 Chinese naval vessels were spotted operating in nearby waters, bringing the total to 38 Chinese aircraft and ships actively maneuvering around Taiwan within a 24-hour period. The military says it is closely monitoring all activities and responding with appropriate measures to safeguard Taiwan. The Defense Ministry has also reiterated its commitment to maintain regional stability while continuing with its annual defense readiness exercises. A Lithuanian parliamentary delegation led by Taiwan-Lithuania Parliamentary Friendship Group chairperson Ruslanas Baranovas is visiting Taiwan until Saturday. Foreign Minister Lin Jialong highlighted in a press conference on Wednesday that this marks the first parliamentary delegation from Lithuania since the country's election and formation of a new government last year, with the visit intended to send a clear message that Lithuania will continue to support bilateral ties. According to the Foreign Ministry, the cross-party nature of the delegation shows Lithuania's unified, nonpartisan support for Taiwan. During his meeting with Foreign Minister Lin, Chairman Baranovas stressed that democratic countries must come together to address current geopolitical uncertainties. Both sides agreed to strengthen cooperation in the defense industry, unmanned aerial vehicles, and artificial intelligence. This collaboration aims to improve democratic economic resilience and continue joint humanitarian efforts in Ukraine. Bilateral achievements currently include projects for the joint production of drone parts, establishing an ultra-fast laser technology research and innovation center in Tainan, and integrating Lithuania into Taiwan's Central and Eastern Europe Resilience Program. Both sides also plan to use the Global Cooperation and Training Framework platform for deeper security cooperation to boost capabilities against cyber attacks and gray zone aggression. A new strain of the coronavirus variant XFG, or the Frankenstein variant, has been rapidly spreading in parts of Europe, the U.S., and recently Southeast Asia. However, National Taiwan University, or NTU, Professor Chen Xiuxi notes that this strain is not likely to pose as big a threat as previous strains outside of more vulnerable populations such as children. As the coronavirus continues to change each year, the HWO monitors each strain, taking note of those which should be more closely watched. Recently added to the list is XFG, called the Frankenstein strain because of how it seems to display the characteristics of multiple other strains, increasing its ability to spread and avoid immunity. Tan, a professor at NTU's Epidemiology and Preventative Medicine Department, said on Wednesday that variant XFG has spread throughout Europe and the United States, as well as rapidly increasing to 68% of cases in Southeast Asia. He said that while it has replaced the mainstream variant in many countries, this is not yet true for Taiwan, although case numbers are expected to eventually rise. Tan continued that research shows XFG's pathogenicity, or the virus's ability to make people sick, hasn't increased, meaning the general public should not be overly worried. However, vulnerable groups, such as children with developing immune systems, will face a higher risk and should take extra care.
As I just reported to you, this strain of virus makes up about 60, almost 68% of what is in Southeast Asia, so I believe that it will eventually reach Taiwan. With the exception of vulnerable groups being more vigilant, I think the threat to Taiwan is not as great as in past epidemics, and it shouldn't be too serious, so the general public does not need to be nervous, but attention should be given to vulnerable groups.
In TU Hospital Emergency Medicine Department Dr. Li Menzang notes that the most recent surge of new coronavirus cases have been among infants born after 2022. Common symptoms include colds, fever, coughing, runny noses, and upper respiratory symptoms, such as contraction and swelling, croup, hoarseness, and wheezing resembling a dog's bark. He also warned that parents should take extra precautions so that they or house guests do not track the virus into the house. Taiwan's digital minister on Wednesday commented on a recent legal case involving the startup LawsNote. The company's founder was recently sentenced to 4 years in prison and ordered to pay 100 million NT dollars, approximately $3 million in damages, after the court found that the company had illegally scraped content from the legal database LawBank and used it in paid services without authorization. While attending International Cybersecurity Summit InfoSec Taiwan 2025, Digital Minister Huang Yannan stated that there is nothing inherently wrong with the technology of web scraping itself, but rather what matters most is which databases are scraped. He says that the government has been promoting open data for over a decade, and that there is already a lot of data that can be freely used, adding that there is no need to crawl private data.
Actually, the Justice Ministry has already legal regulations and data can be licensed, so there's no need to scrape private data. That's why we hope to build a large, accessible database for all kinds of training. This incident has shown us how important our work is, because data is the most crucial element for developing AI in Taiwan. What matters is how we manage data and how we make it available for use legally and appropriately.
Huang says that the ministry is also working on a new Data Application and Innovation Act, which will include licensing provisions designed to encourage more government agencies to release data to help build a robust AI language corpus. Tsanghua experienced heavy rain, causing many motorcyclists to abandon their bikes and walk through thigh-deep water.
Torrential rain triggered national emergency alerts as devastating floods impacted Changhua County, while the historic Lugang Tianhou Temple was hard hit. In the temple's main courtyard, traditional incense burners were half submerged and altar tables nearly disappeared underwater. Street-level flooding reached dangerous heights, leaving vehicles navigating like boats through the submerged roads. Motorcyclists even abandoned their bikes and waded through thigh-deep water. Temple Secretary General Liu Jiawen live-streamed the disaster in tears, saying it was the first time witnessing such catastrophic flooding at the temple. Some cars were completely immobilized with water reaching above their bumpers, while residents struggled to push bicycles through the torrents. The extreme weather brought typhoon-level winds and rain, and terrified residents took shelter. In Lukang's old street, businesses scrambled to save merchandise as floodwater rushed into shops. Store employees frantically rescued their products, and some shop owners said it was their first time experiencing such severe flooding. The weather also caused multiple traffic light failures at major intersections, creating widespread traffic chaos. Residents described the conditions as more severe than the actual typhoon, with the combination of fierce winds, lightning, and relentless downpours creating unprecedented destruction across the historic district. Filaskowski for RTI News.
Taiwanese composer Jiang Yicheng became the first Asian and first woman to win the Emerging Composer Award at the 2025 Italian Apulia Soundtrack Awards, or ASA. Jiang says she was happy others heard her music, saying she believes music transcends language and cultural boundaries. She also said that she hopes her music can help more people hear the voice of Taiwan, before performing the credits music from Stories of the Return, a film about a Taiwanese-American woman's journey back to her hometown to discover her roots. Established in 2021, the ASA is an awards festival dedicated to film scores, which attracts professionals, cinema fans, and tourists from around the world. The awards were presented by Oscar-winning composer Anne Dudley and the acclaimed Italian composer Carlo Crivelli. During the award ceremony, one of the head judges, Cyril Mourin, praised Jiang's work and fusion of Asian and Hollywood sounds, saying, quote, "The moment I heard all the finalists' work, I knew she was the winner," end quote. Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Amanda Stevens. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features, brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.